Welcome to the Roots and Rhythm podcast, where we explore the essence of culture, our experiences, and a healing journey that shapes our growth in family. Through heartfelt stories about marriage, mental health, relationships, and parenting, we create a space where you can find connection, understanding, and inspiration. Join us as we explore the rhythms of life, one story at a time.
What's going on, everybody? Yeah, welcome to another episode, finally, of the Roots and Rhythm podcast, where we explore the rhythms of life, one story at a time. It's your boy, Vlad the Bull, your number one embrace coach, and I'm joined by the lovely, the only...
Angie, la cyber mommy.
She is in the building. We are back. Roots and Rhythm is back in rhythm. It has been a good little bit.
We were buried in the snow, Vlad.
We were buried in the snow. We were buried under life, the rubbles of everyday friction of life.
Yes.
So we always do a check-in. If you're new to Roots and Rhythm, make sure you like and subscribe. Hit that subscribe button right there. If you're new, make sure you smash that button so we can get the algorithm on our side.
all the
get
things,
this
all the things.
everywhere we need to get it to. All right. So if you're new, we always do a check-in before we jump into the meat and potatoes of the episode. So sis, tell me, we need to catch up because I haven't even seen you in the grip.
I know. So what has been up? Let's start with positives. Alana is making her theatrical debut in a few months.
Woo!
So she auditioned for Willy Wonka Jr. and she got the part of Mrs. Gloop, who is Augustus Gloop's mama, and an Oompa Loompa 2. So she's doing that. She's very excited. So now we're in Willy Wonka land learning all the songs because obviously if she has to learn them, we also have to learn them.
Whether you want to or not.
Right. So that's what we're doing. And then in other news, Arya had the stomach bug. And it was throw up city. Just throw up on me, the couch, her. It was wild.
Wait, so can you tell everybody, just back up a little bit, what happened before you had to go pick her up? Because that's why you guys haven't seen us in the grid.
Yes. So I literally got to Vlad's house, put my bag down, and was telling his wife, like, oh, yeah, then this is happening, da-da-da. And then I get a text from the school through the app, like, she just threw up. Come get her, pretty much.
Those are the
I was
worst,
here for like
yo.
5 minutes, not even.
It's the worst, man. I'm sorry,
yeah.
sis. When Jules told me that when I got home,
Yeah.
my heart sank. Because I know the feeling.
And it's worse because this has always been happening when Wallace is gone.
So she...
Wallace wasn't here. So, of course, because if Wallace was home, I would have been like, go get her. Like, I'm working.
Right.
But no, it was on me because he was out of town.
Damn.
Yeah. And then, but the thing was, so she threw up at school. Then we get home and she's just being her bubbly self. And I'm like, oh, this was a fluke, like kind of like, oh, she threw up, but now she's fine. No, because then she started throwing up on us. And I was telling Vlad, it was like we were in the living room and she just got up to come to me and she just threw up everywhere. And I was like, oh. Like on the couch, I had to take the cushions apart. But then it's funny because we were just naked in the living room because I was like, I'm taking all this off now, taking all the stuff off her.
So
like
we went naked and
just naked and then went to take a bath, a shower or whatever. Both of us in there, hilarious. So it's like we made light of a bad situation because after that she was fine.
Right.
I think she just need to get the rest of it. Hello.
Hold on. Let me see if I can move this.
Hello. Oh, yeah. So she just needed to get the rest of it out, and then it was fine. But just,
Damn.
What is it? The Chronicles of Motherhood.
If you have a similar story, we'd love to
Please
hear
share
some of yours.
I know I'm not alone.
Yeah, because it's all solidarity in here. All parents know what that call is like, and you just have to embrace the suck, even if you want to embrace violence towards the daycare for making your kid throw up. No, but
she was fine. That's the thing. I was like, there was no signs of her being sick when we were home. The only thing that maybe because she was like, oh, I don't want to have breakfast, and I was like, okay, well, some days you don't want to have breakfast at home. Wait till you get home and have whatever snack they have there. So I didn't even think anything of it. She wasn't warm. She was fine. She was being funny. Okay, let's go.
You think it might have been something she ate or something?
Maybe. Or Julie was like, oh, maybe she just ate too fast, like whatever food they had at school. But so I don't know. Kids are weird.
Man, it happens, man. I remember one time, Lito, he was we dropped him off at his old daycare, and they called us saying, "Oh, by the way, our air conditioner broke, so now we got to send all the kids home." I'm like, whose problem is that?
Mm-hmm.
My son is fine. You know what I'm saying?
My son has Haitian blood. We keep the house at 85.
Like, yeah, bro, we cold-blooded mammals, man. No, we're not mammals, but or maybe. But I'm like, yo, we cold-blooded, man. Let it go. And nah, it was tough, and I had a whole day of work to do, and so you got it just upends your old day. But these things happen. Yeah.
So I mean, Wallace is back. Yeah, and again, we're just having a grand old time with this Willy Wonka thing.
That's our video.
Yeah, it's finally something like an activity that Alana's excited about. You know, because we've never been the people to put her in activities because we're like, oh, kids should be having piano and karate and swim and taekwondo and you know, like I don't want to just put her in crap just to say she's busy, you know?
Yeah, and the thing about that is like not all kids are cut from the same cloth. So that sounds overwhelming as an adult.
Yeah.
And if anything, I feel like if you overstimulate your kids and you overburden the family with all these activities going to and from, you're really taking away from the cohesiveness of the family culture.
She has to do something, but it's something that she wants to do, not like me putting what I want her to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I also want her to do an instrument, but I feel like she's too young. She's not going to take it serious. And you know what I'm saying? Like she showed interest in like she wanted to be a rock star, so she wanted a guitar. So we got her a ukulele. Like, okay, maybe she'll show interest in this. So the ukulele's at the house. She barely touches it. So imagine if we would have paid for lessons. I would have been pissed.
Right. Or if you would have bought the instrument.
Yeah.
Like outright.
Yeah.
Did you buy it?
We did, but it's like a kid one. It's not like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's not like an electric guitar over here, like $800 or something. Yeah. No.
So when I was in high school, me and my best friend at the time, his name was Jose. And we were really into, he's the one who put me on to, I already had an affinity for all different types of music, rock, punk, all that other stuff, but he really got me into heavy metal. And we were like, hey, listen, we love Paramore, we love Avenged Sevenfold. Why not?
Garage band?
We had Garage Band, and we played it every single afternoon that we could.
Guitar Hero.
Yeah, so Guitar Hero came before Rock Band. Rock Band took it a step further.
But what's Rock Band? Because when I said Garage Band, like you guys went in your garage and started playing guitars.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the video game.
No, Guitar Hero's the video game. But when you were like, oh, me and my boy were into Paramore, and I'm like, oh, did you guys make a garage band? Like,
so we were well on our way to do that, but because we played Rock Band, I think is the name actually of the video game. If y'all played it, shout out, because it was just so great. We had on PS2. We played at his house all the time. He had the drum set, like the accompanying drum set, and I played the guitar. And I'll never forget, there were two songs that were just like killer to do, even on easy. It was Welcome Home by Coheed and Cambria, and it was So Sick, I think, by Flyleaf. And if you know who any of those people are, then put it in those bands are, put them in the chat. But so one day we were like, we play this every day and we have fun and we get, so this must be translatable into musical instruments. So let's start a band. We were going to be called the Ripped Condoms.
The Ripped Condoms. That is the most teenage boy thing I've ever heard.
It was a terrible name with an even worse terrible justification, because he and I both had daddy issues and both of our fathers really struggled with their identity and didn't really want our pregnancies, right? So when he came up with the name, it's like, well, it's because we were both unwanted. And I was like, you know what, maybe not.
That's my whole identity now.
Right. So, we didn't, it's not like we bought merch or got like a domain or anything, but I didn't buy a Starcaster. My mom bought me an electric guitar, and I started learning songs by Paramore on it. And then I just stopped playing. And it's still up there in the base, in the attic somewhere.
Oh, my goodness.
That's what happens when you don't take it seriously. That's why you can't buy your kids everything that they like, because 5 minutes later, you're not going to like it. We had Julie started buying Sesame Street things. So for a Sesame Street themed party for his third. And guess what? By the time he was 2.5, he stopped watching.
Yeah, now he wants Baby Shark.
That's it.
Yeah. And now he don't even like Baby Shark. Now he's onto something else.
He still loves Baby Shark. He loves sharks. He goes nowhere without his sharks. But the sharks are in multiple. You know how it is. If y'all have kids, They like something one day, tomorrow's old news. It's in a box somewhere, and it's just a memory.
Yeah, that's how it is.
But that is exciting about Alana.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
We're very excited. I have to buy her like real makeup. Everybody has to wear makeup. It's like a real, it's very organized. Theater with a twist. Shout out Theater with a Twist. So it's great. I'm very excited for her.
That's awesome.
Dance shoes, like all the things.
Now, as exciting as that is, this episode is all about, because this is going to be, you're going to be seeing this on Valentine's Day or Valentine's Day weekend.
Yeah.
Something for you and your partner, or you or your dater, or you and your spouse to listen to, or even if you're single to listen to. And today we're going to be getting into the meat and potatoes. Those words are used very selectively. Of what makes what are the ingredients of a long-term loving
you gotta
relationship
bake your love. What
that is sustainable against all times. And no one will know this better on this podcast episode today than my co-host Angie, because today happens to be her and Walt Tom, the one I owed a shout out ball in the house, happens to be their wedding anniversary. So tell the good people how many years of matrimony that you are celebrating today.
We've been married 14 years.
Woo! We gotta hit it with that.
You do that. You do that.
I do.
Womp womp every time.
It's like,
and it's always on
just
me.
kidding.
It's always on me. But yeah, 14 years, 2412.
Wow.
2012.
2412. What was I doing in 2012? I probably was just watching the movie 2012.
Being a child.
Yeah, 2012. I was in college, man.
Okay. Wallace and I were 24 and 25, or 23 and 24, almost 25.
Yes, I had just turned 21. Yeah, I just turned 21. Yeah, so wow. Jeez. While we were going in and out of VIP in the clubs, man, y'all were doing some serious
We was done
business.
with the club. I feel like we probably went clubbing one time for Wallace's 25th birthday. That was the last time we went to a club. Oh, and then dancing, but that's like an adult club, not like a
Yeah. Oh, we talking about when we went out Medallos?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I forget who it was. I think it was my cousin. He was like, "Oh man, you don't want to like go on a trip."
Let's go dancing.
I was like, "I want to do that. I want to shit like I want to be home with my wife and not having the juggolito do anything like that." Sometimes you just, as a parent, you're so drained, and you need to have enough ingredients inside to pour back into your spouse. So that's what we're talking about today, right? What are the ingredients of a healthy, sustainable relationship? And do you have the ingredients in your current relationship? Is there anything that you are missing, right?
Yeah, and let's not negate you and Julie, Vlad, because 5 years is still a long time.
Yeah, we're going on 6 years this year. It'll be 6 years married in May, and we are going on 13 years together. So it's not a little bit of time. We've been together for a while. And oftentimes, I don't know about you and Wallace, but we forget that it's been that long. It just flies like crazy.
Listen, sometimes I look at Wallace and I'm like, look at them girls over there. Like, we just got together. Why we got 2 kids, dog? And no, we were almost married. Yeah, we were almost married 8 years before we had Alana.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Like, we were together a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, it does. I feel like when you're having fun, time be flying by.
Well, to use your words, when you're living wild and reckless.
When you're wild and reckless, baby, it just feels like only yesterday.
I think that's going to be one of our first pieces of merch that we're going to get for the
wild
people.
And reckless.
Wild and reckless.
Yes, that is how we
loving
live
it.
our life.
Wild, reckless, and loving it.
Loving
right?
it. Yeah.
So, to start off, people are probably wondering, listening to this podcast, wow, you said 14 years, right? 14 years sounds like a very long time. I remember I shared how long I was with Julie at an event, and this brother was like, man, you better than me. I don't know if I could do that. I was like, why not?
Yeah.
It's hard to conceptualize that.
Well, especially if you've never had that before.
Yeah, if you've never been in a long-term relationship, it's hard to conceptualize that. When I met Julie, I wasn't thinking about 14 years from now. I wasn't thinking about 13 years from now. But when you and Wallace got together, obviously you had big plans, you had big hopes and dreams, and we've talked about that in this podcast. But for those who are wondering and thinking, man, that's a long time. How do you even make it? I could barely get through these 4 months that I'm with this person. What has made it possible for you and Wallace to arrive at this huge milestone?
I think it's friendship. Like, Wallace and I still be just cracking jokes, and giggling, and everything is funny. Like, nothing is serious. That's why I'm like, how are 2 unserious people just doing life? and they allowed us to take these kids home like we're responsible. Even though we are responsible adults, but we just have a good time together, you know? Like, everything's funny. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I think friendship, like, we genuinely like each other. We genuinely want to be with each other. But yeah, that's what I think friendship.
Can you dig in on that a little bit? You said that you genuinely like each other, right? So oftentimes when we hear about relationships going awry, marriages ending, or having really hard, periods of trepidation and doubt, like, I don't know if we're going to make it past this one. I feel like I'm already at the edge, or I feel like I'm already there, and I don't see how we move forward. And sometimes when I hear stories like that, I'm like, it sounds like you guys don't even like each other. How are you married, right?
Well, and that's the thing. I feel like sometimes people stay together because X. Like, oh, we're together for the kids. We're together because this is who I was with when I decided in my brain that I needed to be married. You know, like, people have these timelines. But I would be with Wallace, and I like to think that he'd be with me, even if we didn't have kids. Like, like I was telling you earlier, we didn't have Alana till we were almost 8 years married.
Yeah, well, and that's what I think is pretty fascinating, but also a hedge against y'all hear, a hedge against inflation. No, but it's a hedge against the trying times later, and especially with the birth story that you had with Alana, the fact that you had 8 years with just the two of you.
Lily R.I.P.
And Lily R.I.P. That is not something that many people give themselves the time to do. Now, we're going to get into why people remain and why they should leave despite wanting to remain in a little bit, right? Like, what are the things that keep people bound when they're well past their prime in marriage? And now, I'm not one to promote divorce or separation, but I am one to promote sound reasoning when it comes to starting your relationship. So let's bring it all the way back to the beginning when you were proposed to.
Yes.
What are some of the things that you saw that are still in effect today that gave you a sense of confidence to know that you were going to be in this for the long haul and it was going to work?
Yeah. So even before Wallace proposed, the reason that I allowed him to be my boyfriend
Allowed?
was because he was like one of the first guys, Vlad, that I felt like I could let my guard down with. As far as like, because I've always been very independent. I've always been like, I got to handle it. It's me. I'll do it. And it was like Wallace just came in with this quiet confidence that kind of let me be soft. Like I didn't have to like be a go-getter, I guess. Or I didn't have to like put up this front like, I got it. Kind of like alpha female type.
You didn't have to be in control.
I didn't have to be.
Relent.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that kind of came full circle when we moved up here. It was just me and Wallace. We got because we left all our family and we moved away from everything.
How many years married were you when you guys moved up here to Mass?
2015, 3.
3. Okay. So yeah, that's a good amount of time married. Yeah.
Right.
3 years, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, in the grand scheme of things, right? Before you do a major life, because that thing would break a lot of people up.
That's what I'm saying. But it's like, not that we were relying on my family, like we lived apart or whatever, but I knew that they were there, and I'd go have coffee with my mom after work. Wallace would get home from work. Like we were just living, in community with my family. But then we moved up here and it was like just us. And I feel like that brought us closer. And I also was able to lean on him even more because in Florida, again, my family was there. And not that my mom was controlling, but it's like, oh, come over, I'll make dinner. Like, it wasn't like us. You know what I mean? And it wasn't bad. Like, I'm not trying to say that, having that community is bad. But it's like we didn't have to rely on each other for a lot of things.
Yeah, it almost sounds like you guys were together and your parents recognized that. And we know the Caribbean parents do this.
Right.
But it's like, yo, just let me make life easy for you. Come through, make dinner. You could bring Wallace.
Exactly. So it wasn't like me and him, all the time trying to figure it out because it was kind of figured out for us type thing.
Yeah. Like, it's almost like you were playing. It's almost like you were married, but you allowed, there were certain
And as the oldest, I let it ride because that's my mama. Oh, I'm going to go work with my mom. I'm going to go do this with my mom. It wasn't like, oh, let me... and Wallace and I would have our date nights and stuff, but I feel like we were more integrated with everyone, which is, again, fine in that time. But I think we got even closer and we're able to develop like what we have because we moved away.
It's almost like moving away gave you a vote of confidence that you two can make it on your own.
And he stepped up, because even though like he was, you know, taking control of stuff, I was still, again, very independent. Like I found us our house where we were living. I signed up for all the utilities. I did everything because I was doing it already in my adolescence with my parents, because again, immigrant background, and I'm the one
sign this, read it.
I'm the one speaking English and doing all these things. So I just kind of naturally fell into that role when we got married. So I didn't allow Wallace to kind of like be the man, as they say. So I was doing everything. But when we moved up here, he moved first. And I had to let go of the control because he had to find us a place to live. And again, very capable. He's an adult. But in my mind, I'm like, I'm not doing it. He found us a place to live. Like, he did everything.
Right.
And I was like, oh, well, he can. And it's like, I knew he could, but it's like, why would he do it if I could do it?
Well, that was going to be my next question for you. So one of the ingredients that we're going to speak of today as it pertains to long-term sustainable relationships is trust.
Yes.
So when was it that you knew that you could trust Wallace with your life?
With my life.
Well, I mean, because that's actually a good example right there.
Yeah. Well, early on, like I knew that, again, he was a good guy. Like he was very patient. Me and my blow-ups and me and my big personality didn't scare him. Like he wasn't trying to put me in a box or put me, you know what I'm saying, trying to change me. He just kind of went with the flow, and, you know, and I respected that. Like, I know that he needs his own time for things, and, you know, we kind of respected each other in that respect. So we were like growing together, kind of in our own lane, but still together, you know? And it wasn't until we moved here that it was like we had to only rely on each other. And I saw him step into this man of the house role that you know what I mean? I was like, oh. And I trusted him before, but then I trusted him even more then, because I, again, allowed him to do. And then I saw that he can do, because I wasn't in the way.
And that's big for someone who grew up having to be the caretaker for so many people, you being parentified in the way that you were.
Yeah, right.
And when you're the eldest of, 6 siblings?
6, yeah.
You're eldest of 6. Your parents are immigrants. You were, you know, you have a mastery of the language that they don't have. It creates a hyper independence that makes it difficult for many people to relent in a relationship. It's like, I've been living my whole life like this.
Right.
Why do I need to trust you if I trust me? And you get to a point where, right, like when you allow your part, you get out of your own way and allow somebody to let you be soft.
That's what I'm saying.
And pump your gas.
No, he will always pump my gas. Even when I was super duper independent Angie, he was pumping my gas, Vlad. But that's because, again, Wallace and I bonded early because we both got old dads. Shout out old ass dads.
Old dad?
Yeah. And I feel like Wallace's dad raised him to be like a super duper gentleman because he came from old school.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like all of that old school mentality in my husband, who is 87 on the inside. Like
Wallace is an old soul.
He is an old soul.
Yeah.
So I also liked that, you know. But yeah, so I think it took us moving up here for me to 100% trust Wallace. So I trusted him enough to marry him because I knew he was a good person and I knew that we would have a good life. But I didn't let go completely until 3 years in.
Was there ever a time for you? Obviously, this is all great. This is great stuff for the audience to have knowledge of. But some people may be wondering, was there a time where Wallace had already earned your trust and then that trust was tested or almost broken and that you had to reestablish it? Now, a lot of times when people hear this, you think of infidelity. That's an extreme breach of trust. But there are other benign things that make you wonder sometimes that may happen in a relationship where, like, oh, I don't know if I could trust you to do this if we take this a step further. Like, I don't know if I could. Did any of that ever happen for you?
No. And I think it's because Wallace and I have always been brutally honest with each other.
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, brutally honest. Like,
because the second ingredient.
Oh, yay.
The second ingredient we talking about.
Vlad has all the notes. We came up with this earlier.
Yeah, we did.
He has the notes that he can see. That's why he's
bop.
bringing them in. Yes,
I gotta have a reference point, right?
Do it.
And maybe one day when we have, you know, more production stuff, we'll have that big old teleprompter
that I could also see.
Yeah. Wait, I could turn it this way.
Yeah.
Right there.
There you go.
I mean, all right. So communication is the bedrock of any sustainable relationship, romantic or platonic.
Yes.
And you saying that trust didn't necessarily ever become, I don't know, endangered because we had good communication. I mean, if I'm thinking back to when things were, because I don't make any bones about it. When I met Julie, I was so hyper independent that I didn't even know that I needed to be in a relationship to rely on somebody. Like, I always had this survivalist mindset of, I might like you, but someday you're going to leave me. So I need to be, I need to be on my toes, right? Not healthy. And so the way that the time that I remember that I began to trust Julie was actually not what one would think. So when we were dating, we were still living at home. Julie was in grad school. I was in undergrad. When we met, it was my senior year. And then when I graduated, she was working, I was working, but we were still living at home. And on the weekends is when we'd see each other. And one weekend we had plans. We were gonna go out to dinner. We had, you know what I'm saying, we had a hotel booked. And
that's what you got to do when you live at home.
You got to get it where you can live, man. You can get where you can live where your mama can't talk to you about it. All right. So, you know, we were young and in love, early 20s. We doing our thing, but so yeah, we had all these elaborate plans to go to this hotel. When we got to the parking lot, we were gonna check in, and I became very ill, like just out of the clear blue, just like flu symptoms. I had a headache, and over here, my hyper independent, like I can still make it work because I don't want to let her down.
Yeah.
And I also don't want to miss out on these plans. Like I was hoping for a really great weekend, and I'll never forget Julie's response was, "It's okay," and I laid my head down in her lap, and she just rubbed my head. And I was expecting her to be like, oh my God, like, why would you even do it? Like, I'm so disappointed. I was expecting this grandiose explosion of disappointment. And what I got was acceptance and empathy. I'm like, damn, I can trust you.
Yeah.
And the reason why that was important was because that reaction I was expecting was one that I expect from my mom. I was expecting like this is all like
that
this
Caribbean
is your fault.
mama guilt.
That Caribbean mother guilt. I was expecting that to come in full force, and when
yeah.
it didn't, I was like, it made me question, like, well, could what I learned be wrong? Could I actually trust you? And I knew that. And that's actually when I told, not that day, but I think like after that, I told her I loved her because we were kind of not on the same plane.
Right.
Like Julie was ready. She knew what she wanted. She knew how she felt about me. And I just had a lot more figuring out to do. And sometimes you got to get there in a relationship. And you might not realize that a person really does love you and they want the best for you. But you sitting here trying to fight them because you're so used to fighting. And a lot of people go through life like this.
Yeah, because you're right with your guard up.
With their guard up, and they're ready to like, oh, I thought you were gonna, just, you know, like when they used to make you flinch, and then you got punch buggy, whatever, 2 for flinching, whatever it was when we were kids. That's what I was expecting, and once I knew that I could trust her, then communication started getting better. Now that doesn't mean that trust ultimately wasn't broken later, right, on my part, but our communication, even throughout that process and the reconciliation, was always solid. It wasn't solid at first. And sometimes in a relationship, you really gotta crash into a wall to start talking, right? And so for those people in the audience who are like, communication, that's what everybody says. You know, I've been with my boyfriend or my girlfriend or my wife or whatever. We've been together for all these years, but we can't seem to get on the same page. What do you mean communication?
Well, I think it's more so like knowing how to talk versus like what to say. So it's like you have to know how your partner receives information, and because you can't just give information. What if they don't receive it the same way? Like Wallace can be harsher with me than I can be with Wallace.
That is honestly surprising to me.
Yeah. So and even at work, I tell people, I'm like, look, just tell me I messed up so I can fix it.
Right.
Like, don't try to sugarcoat, like, oh, well, maybe if you do it this way. No, tell me it sucked so then I could, like, go back and do it better.
Yeah. And
that's how I am with Wallace, too. Like, he could literally tell me, Angie, that was effed up.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, damn, I'm sorry. You know?
Yeah, and you know what? I prefer that mode of communication.
Facts.
Like you said, it's not even...
But everybody can't receive it. So it's like knowing your partner enough to be like, okay, I shouldn't talk to them this way. And you always have to put respect on it too, Like if you know that telling Julie something she would consider disrespectful, why would you say it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And you're gonna have lapses. Like we're only humans.
Yeah, because
you might get mad and
we
say
get upset.
something that you don't want. That you don't really
and
mean.
then quickly apologize.
And you quickly apologize. You make it better. That's part of the communication is making amends. We had an earlier episode where we talked about fighting fair. And dude, if you've been married or you're in concert with somebody for more than 5 or 6 years and you spend a reasonable amount of time with each other and you still don't know how to fight fair, then that tells me that you're not paying attention, or you just have it fixed in your mind. This is how I am, which I want to spend some time about because something I'm seeing on the social media trends these days.
I know. You're an influencer, Vlad.
Yeah.
You be knowing stuff.
Yeah, people be like, well, if he married me, that's just how I am. That's just how I am. I don't know why she tripping for. That's just how I am, dog. Like, you either take it or love it. And, I can understand why you might think that. We can explain it away, but that doesn't make it right.
No.
How you are is problematic. And if that's the case, then there's some tweaking to do.
We need to evolve, Vlad. Like, the version that Wallace is loving right now of me is not the same version that he married. Like, so much has happened. I've evolved. I've grown. Therapy and all the things, right? So it's like we're into like Angie 5.0 at this point. It's been 14 years.
Yeah, how
like
many,
you
how
can't
many
be
upgrades?
the same person, right? You can't be the same person you were at 23 that I am at 30x because I'm not telling you how old I am. So it's like
She's
can't
30-12,
right? You can't be the same person.
No, and I feel like that's where a lot of relationships buckle.
They're stunted at whatever age they.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I think folks. Not everybody, because obviously there are many people. Julie's parents are celebrating, I think, their 54th.
Wild.
Which is crazy. Their 54th wedding anniversary. But I think where a lot of people buckle, Angie, is they see where you were with Wallace for the first 8 years before y'all had kids, and this is their standard. They can't go above, they can't go below. This is just where you're at. Your expectations are here. And life is dynamic. It's not static. So you might have enjoyed each other for 7 years, done what you want, did whatever you want. If you choose to have children or you choose to be wild and reckless, then you know that's going to shift, and you have to adapt. But often what happens with people is they get married for, I don't know. They get married because it's the right thing to do.
It's cool.
It's cool. This is just a natural next step. Marriage is not always actually the natural next step in a relationship. Not all relationships are meant to go the distance. I'm sorry to say it to you. And again, I don't want to get too far into it because we're going to have a segment about this. But there has to be a bedrock. Trust is the bedrock. Communication. If you didn't have any other degree, if you didn't have any other spices or ingredients in your cupboard of marriage and wedding and relationship, then you need trust and communication.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, dude, if you can't talk to Wallace,
who can I talk to?
Who can you talk to?
Who
if
knows
you can't
me
say,
more?
Yeah. Because think about it. That's what always baffles me with people who've been together for a while, Angie, and they have a hard communication. Like, you know each other better than other people know you at this point. Because, for example, me and Julie been together for 13 years. We didn't start living together until, I think, 5 years into our relationship, which means that the last 8 years? Yeah. So the 8 years we've been living together in our face every day, breathing the same air, smelling your funk, all that other stuff. So I'm like, how do you not know me? How do I not know you? Are we paying attention, or were we here for false pretenses?
No, literally, Vlad. It's like, if you can't talk to your spouse, who can you talk to? No idea.
Now check this out, right? With communication, this is what we came up with, y'all. So bear with us, okay? If we're talking about ingredients, let's go back to trust. So trust is like flour. Without it, nothing holds.
Yeah, it's a binder.
It's a binder, right? Like the other day, I was making a carrot and sweet potato puree, and I had to use some flour in that, and that joint bounded. And if you break trust, you could rebuild it. And this is why honesty matters, even when it hurts, right? And communication is like the heat. Too much of it, it'll burn. Like, imagine if you communicated with Wallace every time that you wanted to say something to him. What's your first thought?
Right. No, everything. You communicate. I'm going to the bathroom. It'll get annoying. I'm going to the bathroom. I'm going to the store. I'm going here. I'm going there.
Yo, the other day, because I made it when we were at Julie's parents' house. I said, Jules, because she's like, I'm just gonna go to the bathroom. You probably seen her do that. I'm like, why do you keep announcing to me that you're going to the bathroom?
When we're home with the kids, I do announce it in case something happens. Yeah, and it's funny because I know you grew up with your brother, but it was kind of just you because your brother did your own thing.
Yeah.
I feel like y'all don't be announcing stuff. When you come from a big family, you do. You announce everywhere you're going. I used to do it when I was little too. Like, all right, go into the bathroom, and it's like everybody knows where I'm at. You know, type thing.
Ain't nobody.
Right. No one's checking for you.
Nobody checking
People
for us,
was checking for us.
My parents. I told Julie there would be days on the weekends, especially. There was no structure in the home. Outside of meals, there was nothing. So everybody was in their corner. My mom was doing Avon and recovering from her 12-hour shifts. My dad was next door with his family. Serge was upstairs, and I was just down here, just watching UPN.
Right. I'm going to the bathroom. I'm going outside.
Yeah.
Going to neighbors. Like, whatever you were doing, you would say.
The only thing I do is because I wasn't allowed to go to like friends' houses unless it was pre-approved and background checks. Like that happened few and far between. By few and far between, I mean like maybe 3 times in my childhood. So a lot of times I'd just be sitting there watching UPN movies after the Saturday morning cartoons fade. I'm just watching that I shouldn't be watching. Like I saw Boys in the Hood on UPN, and I'm like, I shouldn't see. Even I know I shouldn't be seeing this shit. You know, that shit was scary as hell. Unsupervised time. So like it wasn't nobody checking for me. My parents just needed to know that we were alive and breathing, so that they couldn't get filed on. Right? Like that's literally the only reason why. But yeah, man. Nah. So I told Beth, I'm like, why did your sister always announce where she's going? And she's like, oh, I don't know. I guess I never realized it. And then she did it, but Letha was asleep. She's like, what? She's like, you're right. She does announce it. And I was like, what? So, oh, man. Uh-oh. What's going on here? Oh, here we go. Okay. Yeah, my little doohickey here. All right. So, yeah. So, too much communication will burn. Not enough of it, and it'll be raw.
Yeah, it'll leave our cake raw. Whatever it is, are we cooking here?
Yeah, so our
relationship.
Yeah, whether you're cooking a dish or baking a dish. Because think about it. We talked about how in the last episode, I believe, when we were talking about fighting fair, or a couple episodes back, we talking about how if there's something that is bothering you, that you've been besmirched by your partner, whether it was intentional or not, you don't bring it up. It will come out raw because you're not cooking. That resentment is just, you can call it bacteria salmonella. You're not cooking nothing. All right. You need to cook. They say, let them cook. You need to cook. And so if you're communicating properly, not too much, because then your dish is done. You over communicate, you're going to push somebody away eventually. Like you always tell them, like, you always do this. You so this. I knew you would let me down. I knew that. Bro, too much, man. You're burnt. You know when you burn rice, it's just, you can't redeem it.
No. Facts.
You can't redeem it. It's happened. You forget about it. You turn it down. It's supposed to be simmering. You get distracted. ADHD, by the way. You forget about it. And nothing you do, scratching that bottom is going to
It's going to taste burnt.
It's going to taste burnt. And don't nobody like burnt rice, and don't nobody like burnt marriage either. Yeah.
I like that.
And actually, so the third ingredient you already mentioned, friendship.
Yes, it's the spice.
So
right, the sugar, it makes it sweet.
It makes it sweet. Yo, again, it's just a season. There's always going to be people that are going through hardship. But like I said, there's some relationships I've seen. I'll take my family, my parents as an example. They didn't even like each other.
And I feel like you could tell, like Wallace and I, and again, it's one of my favorite things about us, is we just look at each other and we just start laughing because it's like we're already thinking about the same thing. It's very weird.
Yeah,
but it's just funny. Again, we're very unserious, but I feel like that's what makes us jive. Like,
Yeah, and it's funny because when I first met Julie, I did not think that we would jive as well because we were so dissimilar in our core attributes. I'm loud and proud. She's quiet and violent.
What does your mom call her? A mouse?
My mom calls her a mouse. I'll never forget. When I met her on the dating website, I was like, Mom, what do you think of this girl right here? And she's like, oh, she's cute. She looks like a little mouse. I'm like, that's not the response I was looking for.
Oh, look at this girl, little
mouse.
Mom,
I'm like, I need your approval, not your
mouse.
Now you want me? Now I'm dating Splinter. Like I want to do that.
Oh my goodness.
Nah, but we're. I wouldn't say we're polar opposites, but I thought we were.
Yeah, I mean Wallace and I are like Wallace and I always say that if we met in like high school, I wouldn't even be his friend.
You know what's funny? So I always had a. All right, hear me out. This is gonna sound kind of weird, but bear with me. I've always had an affinity, whether it were people that I crushed on in real life or through the movies, for like quiet, mousy people. And the very few people that I did date that were like me, I hated eventually, or we'd have a lot of conflict. And so I thought, in my mind, well, she's not from the city. She's not from the Caribbean. She doesn't understand my mode of speaking. Like, we could be frank. Listen, if you don't want to get your feelings hurt, don't go to a Caribbean house. Because they'll tell you, they don't even care about how long I've known you.
Do you think you could hurt my feelings? I was raised by a Cuban and Dominican. Please.
Yo.
My feelings have already been hurt the worst way possible by my parents.
Yo, it's so true. Yo, look at if this is Roots and Rhythm, so I'm hoping that it attracts folks who understand. But in case you're listening to this and you don't have proximity to Caribbean culture, I'm telling you, bro, like, it is brutal. You put on a couple pounds, you will be called fat and dragged
for the rest of your life.
For the rest of your life.
My first bullies were my parents, so it's like, you can't hurt my feelings. Who cares?
I told David, my boy, before we went to the academy, we were trying to research and talk to people and see what it was like. And one of the concerns, like, they kick down your doors and they yell at you. Me and David were like,
that's it?
Do they do anything else? Do they punch you?
Yeah.
Like,
do they stab you?
Yeah. Like, do they? Oh my God, are they gonna come up in there and throw like a bottle in my face?
Acid on me?
Are they gonna hit me with a belt, Angie?
Yeah.
And they're like, no, they can't touch you. I'm like, so then what the hell's a big deal?
Then why am I afraid?
That was just a quick sidebar because it's real. If you know, you know. But friendship is the sugar. It's what makes it sweet. Julie and I, like I said, you have to find something in your relationship that binds you that is timeless. Julie and I have been bound timelessly. Like, we were friends before we got married, and we were friends after we got married. We were friends before we had kids, and we still friends. Many great relationships, long-term marriages are built on friendship. And sometimes friendships change, but I don't accept the narrative that, people change and that's why we're getting divorced. That's not what happened.
No.
You know that's not what happened,
because you
boo-boo.
should be changing together in the same direction, I guess. Because if, to your point, Vlad, you're like friends before, friends after. If you're not friends before you have kids, these kids will tear you apart.
Yo, hey.
No, but for real.
She for real, though.
No, for real. Because kids intentionally, they will try to pin you against each other. Okay? So if that trust is not there, the friendship is not there, these kids will tear you apart. Arya, she's 3 years old. She'll be quick to tell Wallace, Mommy said yeah. Like, when he's like, no, you can't have something or you can't do this. But Mommy said yeah. So imagine if I didn't like or Wallace didn't like me and we weren't already having this communication with each other. He'd be like, well, why would your mom say that? And then, Angie, why would you say that? Not even asking me, did I?
Right.
Just already thinking that I did when these kids are lying because they want to get their way.
And think about it. You know your friends. So if your spouse is your friend, then you'll know, hey, bro, you lied. I know that's not Angie.
Right.
Like, nice try.
Right. We talk to each other. Then that's literally what he says. Well, mommy and papi talk to each other, and I know that that's not true.
Yeah.
You know?
And, sometimes you might miss something. You're like, oh, yeah, whatever. Like, it happens. But Lito, his favorite thing to do is if I say, no, you can't have that. No, we're not doing this. No. Because I'm a very firm no.
Yeah.
I'm the heavy in the house. I don't like being the heavy, but I am. And what Lito will do, he'll be like, and like he'll run to Jules and he'll be like, and Jules will be like, what happened? I'm like, and my face is always like this, like,
you know nothing happened.
I'm like, I wouldn't let him take my handcuffs to bed.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh. Like, so, so that's how that goes. But yeah, kids will split you. And it's not malicious. They're not doing it on purpose.
Exactly.
They're just trying to figure out the world.
They're still learning.
Testing boundaries, seeing truth and consequences and what's gonna fly and what's not gonna. That's just how they are.
Yeah.
Fifth ingredient, Angie. Respect.
RESPECT.
You ever see that video of that lady who was God bless her, I don't know what was going on with her mouth or her lyrical recollection, but she totally messed up the words like RESPECT. That's what it mean.
No.
Respect.
Whoa.
And her friend was trying to like
correct it?
No, she's trying to like encourage her.
Boosting her up.
And she's trying to boost her because she was standing behind her. You can see her face like,
Yeah, girl. Yeah.
Oh, wow, boo, you just jacked that up. A real friend will tell you, yo, hey,
Stop.
You shouldn't have took that.
Stop. Don't even try.
But respect. This is the non-negotiable. We talked about it. We're going to say it again.
Mm-hmm.
Respect is non-negotiable.
Mm-hmm.
This is something that we cannot deviate from in a relationship. Once respect is lost, it throws everything out. If you don't respect me, how can I be your friend?
Mm-hmm.
How do I communicate? How can I, be in league with you if I don't feel respected by you? And what are some of the things that erode respect?
Mm-hmm.
Tone, because it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
It's how you say it.
And like we said, if I'm married to Jules, you've known me for 13 years. You know it's going to piss me off.
Mm-hmm.
You know it's going to hurt me
Pressing
deeply.
the buttons.
Press those buttons, not going beneath the belt.
Mm-hmm.
And when you do go beneath the belt, an example, not my example because we just don't do that, but an example is if somebody calls you out your name and says that, oh, you're not a woman. What kind of wife are you?
Oh.
Imagine if what would you say if Wallace said that to you?
Have you lost your fucking mind? But he
Have
would
you lost-
never. But that's why I'm like, he would never. So if he did say that, Vlad, you have lost your fucking mind. And who are you talking to right now?
Bro, yeah.
You know,
Because
I can't even imagine, Vlad.
How disrespectful would that be, though? How much would it hurt?
Oh, I'd definitely be crying out of anger. You know? Oh, yeah. I'm a cry when I'm super mad, Vlad. Oh, I'm a cry.
I never understood that. When people were, I've seen that. I knew people
because you don't know what to do. You don't know what to do. Your body's kind of like, I want to kill, but I can't. Like, so I'm crying. I'm angry and I'm crying.
I can't kill you.
Yes. Ferocious.
I have never cried. I'm not. I guess you have to be.
Yeah. Well, I never was a crier until the girls were born. Until Alana was born, I never cried.
The kids will bring that out of you.
Oh my gosh, I literally cry. I know there's no Publix out here, but shout out Publix in the South. They have these commercials every like Christmas, Thanksgiving, Easter. Crying at the commercials, like just crying, right? But since the kids, so now it's like I'm angry, I also cry. If I'm super angry, I'm gonna cry. But again, I'm crying, but I'm not boohoo crying. The tears are coming, but I'm a yell. That's how I've only been angry like that probably twice.
I'm more of a delayed crier, right? Like I had a really good cry this morning, and it was needed, and it wasn't because I was angry; it was because I was overwhelmed.
Yes.
And for those of you who are new to this podcast, and that might be and that sounds like a shocking thing to you that we're talking about expelling tears from our tear ducts. I mean,
it's normal.
It is a normal thing, and I want to normalize that for my folks who grew up in homes where, as a child, you were chastised for showing any sort of emotion. Yeah. You will not become an adult or a parent if you don't cry. You will become a pretty shitty parent and a pretty shitty spouse if you can't show it. To quote Chef Ramsay, he said, "Show some emotion, will you, or fuck off."
When the heck did he say that?
Season 6. We're rewatching Hell's Kitchen right now. But that's part of the friendship, right?
Yes, yes.
Is that we like the same things. We watch it. Like, we don't have a problem. We just like, oh, you want to watch Hell's Kitchen again? She's like, yeah, sure. And we're just watching. And even though, like, it's fun. But we respect the fact. Julie and I need to work on this a little bit. What? Because I think, please correct me in the comments.
I'm going to correct you
share
right now.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I think if you and your spouse have a show that you like to watch together, I'm not going to say it's disrespectful, but it does hurt a little bit. It stings if Jules jumps ahead in an episode.
Oh, that's emotional cheating. That's emotional cheating.
Yeah, I never thought about it that way, but
nope, because how dare you? I agree with that.
Yo, Jules like, oh, but I can tell you what happened. I'm like, that's not the point.
No. And the only reason that I would allow it is because Wallace and I watch shows, and I know he's going to be on the road. So we agree. We're like, okay, you can watch 2 episodes while you're gone, and I'll watch the next 2 while you're gone. But we have to be back to the same
where we left off. Yeah.
But you guys are home every single night.
Like,
no,
come on,
stop
bro.
cheating.
Like, what's the like? What?
Stop cheating on me emotionally. And yes.
Like, are you trying to hurt me?
Right.
Especially if it's like a really like prolific show. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to figure out what's happening. So then Julie says, "Well, I just told you what happened at the end of the episode. What's the big deal?
It's not the same because I'm missing the nuances of the episode and the little bits that I might need for later.
Yeah,
I agree.
And I need to see it for myself to interpret it. But also, I like watching this because I watch it with you, and I want to experience the emotions with you as we're watching it. And we watch a lot of relationship-based programming as well. So I'm like, I don't want to, you know. But then when Jules be like, oh, nothing really happened, and then I'll see the review.
Nothing really happened to you. There's a lot going on.
I'm like, damn, I missed like half the episode.
Right.
But then Jules is like, but you fell asleep. I'm like, I don't care, because what happens is, I'll stop as soon as Jules falls asleep.
Oh, you do? Does she know that you fall asleep and keeps going, or because sometimes that happens and Wallace is like, oh, I fell asleep. I wasn't even paying attention to you. And
well, she'll be like, well, you were like, because the thing is, I'll be falling asleep and be like, Nah, I saw that.
Oh my gosh, Vlad. Well, no, that's not the same. I thought she was like going out of her way. Like right now we're recording, it's evening, and she's up there, and she's up there watching the episodes because you're busy. No, that's different, Vlad.
So I mean, that's a little humor there, but I don't deem it disrespectful, right?
Yeah.
Disrespect is when you say something to someone that you know is going to hurt them.
Yes.
That you know is going to
hurt them.
You cross the boundaries. You don't care about crossing boundaries anymore. Whereas boundaries never got crossed. Now they're being trampled on. You don't respect their autonomy. You don't respect their communication with other people. You don't respect their friendships and relationships. You don't respect their requests, their like, you know, it's tough. Whether you've been together forever, you've been together for a cup of coffee, respect is
and it's different to everybody, right? Yeah. So something that might disrespect you might not disrespect me. I'm just gonna take it as like, oh, okay, that's fine, no problem. So again, knowing your spouse, knowing your person, and knowing what those buttons are, so you don't push them.
Exactly. Now, after respect, the sixth ingredient is forgiveness. Forgiveness is the oil, y'all. So the oil is, primes everything, right?
Keeps things from sticking and breaking.
It keeps things from sticking and breaking. And this is why this is important, because, again, some might think of forgiveness and think of this big no that you committed, and I have to, please forgive me for this. Please don't break up with me. Don't leave me, girl. Like going Blackstreet on it. But, sometimes you mess up. Yeah. It happens. Sometimes, like, you say something out of pocket or out of fear or anger, whatever it is. Or it's just something benign. Like, I left the stove on and I forgot and it burned your food or something. Or like one time I left Julie's, this has happened multiple times, but we'll go out to a restaurant, we'll have some takeout containers and I forgot it in the car or something and then like it goes bad. Or no, this actually happened when we went to see Micah, shout out Micah from
Sons of Serendip. Oh yeah, for Christmas.
It was so good.
Christmas show, that was nice.
It was.
Oh, tag Sons of Serendip.
I'm gonna say Sons of Serendip. If you don't know, if you haven't experienced Sons of Serendip, please. I was pleased to see there was a black harpist.
Oh yeah.
Somebody it was phenomenal. I'm not even gonna say anything. Find it in the show notes. Sons of Serendip.
But you left her food in the car?
Nah, so I left it at the. Remember when we were waiting for Micah to be? We were waiting for him.
We left it at the place.
We left it. Remember we were leaning against that counter right next to the venue, the merch table, and we were talking to his mom, and it was cool. And then we went to go see Micah, and I left the food on the table, and I forgot.
Oh man.
So I said, "I'm sorry, baby. I'm sorry. I know you wanted that food. I'm so sorry. Please don't leave me because I left your food out." And she's like, and it's not that drastic, right, Angie? But that's like the fabric of our communication.
You were quick to apologize, and she was quick to forgive, and I think that's the thing. But that could only happen, Vlad, if you already have a solid relationship. Because if it's something that keeps happening and you keep apologizing, it's not a real apology if the action doesn't go with it too.
Yeah, because at that point, the apology is just to pacify you until the next time it happens, and then. You just want some people apologize because they just want to stop having the conversation, and that's not. And they want the forgiveness so that the person stops holding them accountable.
Exactly.
And that's just not. That's not real life. Forgiveness for some is just accepting the fact that things couldn't have been done any differently.
Right.
I love that definition. Shout out to Oprah. Hope to have you on the Roots and Rhythm podcast someday. That would be dope, right? Wow. Super Soul Sunday. But yeah, it's keeping things from sticking and breaking. Letting go without pretending the pain didn't happen, right? Just forgive and move on. 7th ingredient, you might want to write this down. This is growth. This is the yeast. I'm not talking about that yeasty stuff. I'm talking about...
What is happening?
What is life?
Yes.
This
Evolving.
is the yeast.
Evolving together. So I literally said that. I was like, this is what Angie 5.0 that Wallace is loving on, right? We've evolved together. You can't be stagnant and stay in the same place, or since we're talking about ingredients, stay flat. You have to grow together, evolve. Instead of outgrowing each other, you evolve, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm not the same person that I was when I got married. You know, so many things have happened. We've grown together. We've moved a bunch of times. We've added 2 kids, bought a house. Like, a lot has happened. And it's crazy to think that I'm going to be the same person I was. And Wallace isn't the same person he was either.
This is one that bothers me a little bit. Because when it comes to men, especially, something that I've seen, it's a classic example of a relationship growth, is your aesthetics, right? I think men we're so visual that we expect our wives or our partners to look exactly the same as when we met them, and if they fall anywhere sub of that standard, then they're just no longer attractive, and that shit bothers the fuck out of me. And this is why it bothers me, Angie. If you could see what I saw in that operating room when my wife gave birth to our son, it changed all of our lives forever. But I've never had more love and appreciation of her beauty than that moment. And not going into gory detail, but it was
I've had 2 C-sections, Vlad. Your guts are on the table.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Like, when you see...
It is what it is. We don't like to sugarcoat here.
Yeah, we're not going to sugarcoat it. When you see the love of your life losing blood.
Yeah.
Yo, bro, you just beautiful because you're here. And I'm not saying, like, if you're worried about your partner's health, then you need to say something.
Right.
But, I mean, dog, like... You will grow. I do not look the same. Like, I was looking at old pictures of Jules and Nadia the other day when I was digging around for their birthday. Because I like to show people the history.
Oh yeah,
that's history, cute. Right?
And I'm like, these are all the pictures of you being 2. Now you're 3.
Right, right, exactly, right. So 13 years ago, bro, like I wasn't the same. I was like 7% body fat, and I was all muscle and all that. It just. But Julie loves me just the same, and. I don't remember. That's not in my mind unless I'm looking at those pictures. But they're just older pictures. That's what we used to look like. But anyway, men, if you're listening to this, get off of your high horse. Because here's the facts.
Men.
Some of y'all don't even look the same as you did last week.
And you didn't give birth.
And you ain't give no birth. And I'm just going to be real. I'm a man, and I'm steeped in my masculinity, and I could never survive childbirth. Is what it is. So give your partner some grace, yo. But that's the physical thing. I just need to get out the way for the guys. But you should strive to grow with your partner. Because I tell you, Julie and I don't even know the same stuff that we did. Like, if you were to tell me that we would be managing real estate together, going through 3D real estate transactions, managing a rental property, doing all, like, that's not something that we were thinking about when we first started dating. But it grew along with us. We had to grow through it. And the great thing about a relationship is you get to grow together.
That's right.
Now, if you're the only one striving for growth, that's a red flag.
Yeah.
Right?
I agree with that. Yeah, both of you have to be going in the same direction, because then you're like pulling someone, right? Now you have a burden because now you're trying to get ahead, dragging someone that doesn't want to change. Evolve. Let's evolve together.
Evolve with a capital Evolve. Okay?
The whole word.
Number 8 is gonna awaken some of you who might be falling asleep to this.
What's the spice, Vlad?
The spice. Can somebody guess it? Can you guess it? Yo, Jules, guess it. Intimacy.
Yes.
Now, let us clarify. Intimacy is not just sex.
But it's sex.
And it's sex and emotional closeness and vulnerability. Here's the thing. Again, I work with men. That's why where I get a lot of my my quips from. Intimacy for most men, the average male, is when they hear intimacy, they're like, oh, sex. And so I was having a conversation with my boy the other day, and we were talking about intimacy. And he was like, "Oh, you mean sex, right? Oh, yeah, we did. Like, I like what she used to do." I'm like, no. I mean, like, when was the last time you guys just held each other? When was the last time y'all held hands? Like, when was the last time? Do you just kiss your wife when you're looking for something? Do you just touch her body when you're looking for the whole shebang, when you're looking to get in them drawers? Or do you just appreciate her? You grab her, you pat her head, like you touch her hand. Like, these are the things that make people feel vulnerable and loved and desired. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and correct me if I'm wrong, but women want to feel desired by their husband
all the time.
So if and you probably know the difference between if Wallace is just trying to get in them drawers.
Oh yeah, facts.
Or if he's just trying to love on you.
Exactly, exactly. And we need that closeness because that's where I think where you get. I don't want to say the most pleasure because that'd be a lie, but that's where you get like that's how you get that togetherness, like, you know, like someone has your back, like someone's like checking for you pretty much, you know, like you need those moments throughout the day. And I think when you don't have them, life isn't as flavorful. It's the spice, Vlad.
It's the spice.
It's the spice for a reason.
And let's just keep it a stack. The sex is great in general, if everything goes right, but sex is even better with somebody you love.
Oh my gosh, yes.
It
totally
is like
agree.
Not even the same now. You know, I'm not gonna go to. I'm not one of those dudes that be having a body count for like 100 people.
Julie and Wallace are not the type to share these things, so we're not gonna.
So we're not gonna do that.
No.
All I will say is that intimacy with my wife is bar none. To anything I've ever experienced, because I trust her, because we're connected, because we communicate so well, because we're
committed.
One flesh, as the Bible says. And, you know, sometimes, depending on who you are, some people more vanilla, you know what I mean? Some people more extreme. There was a show on Netflix that we watched. I don't even think it's on Netflix anymore. It's called Loving Goop or something like that.
No.
Goop? The Goopy one?
Goop, the company?
Nah, Goop. Love and Goop, I think it was called. And it was a show with couples. They had, I think it was maybe 4 or 5 couples, and they were all looking to add this spice into their life. Like, they ran out of intimacy spice.
Okay.
If it was paprika, ain't no paprika in the house, right? And so they went to these sex experts. Now, again, my strictly Catholic raised behind was like, yo, ain't no way in hell I'm ever going to be doing something like that. Going to some lady talking about our intimate life and having her have me stroke my wife with feathers and you know, peacocks and shit.
One of my sorority sisters is a sex coach. But she's like a licensed social worker, but she does like sex therapy. I think kind of like the same thing.
Have you learned anything? Like, has she given you any
she's
insight?
talked to us about it, yeah. And she has like videos and things. Nicole Jasmine Johnson will tag you too. Hey.
Hey.
But
hey.
Very important though, Vlad. And I think a lot of people also use sex kind of like as a weapon. Like, oh, you did me dirty, or we don't have this thing anymore, so I'm withholding. Is that the word?
Withholding,
withdrawing.
Like, man.
But then it's like you're missing the spice from your cake that we're cooking here with all the ingredients.
Yeah, and I mean, don't nobody like no bland cake without no icing on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, anybody got time for that. And no, you should not be withholding. You should not be weaponizing sex by withholding it, or or holding over people's heads. Like, sex was meant to be enjoyed between spouses, man.
Right.
And for a reason, right? And if you feel like this spice is missing, you might want to add some more. You might want to get a kick in your bedroom game. Then there is no shame in exploring that avenue.
Right.
I used to think it was so taboo. Like, we're not even talking about sex toys or feathers or goop or like.
What is goop, bro? Is that like what's the thing called? The liquid stuff, Vlad.
What? The slime stuff?
No, goop.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I
forget why it was called goop. I think it was one of those.
What is goop?
I don't know why it's called goop. I think there was at one point there was
lubricant. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
Nah, it was like something they poured on. Like, I gotta rewatch this. Julie and I were watching this together, and I was honestly surprised at how into it we were.
Okay.
Now, Julie and I are not the type of people that ever walk into a sex therapist shop or like go to see a sex therapist. But it made me realize that this is an important part of a relationship. Intimacy is important. The sex and everything in between. Like all that is, if you were to take that spice out of your relationship, it would fall apart eventually. Because, some people believe that we have sexual needs and some people believe that we don't. That it's like a manufactured need from society. I'm like, listen, man, I'm in need to I tell Jules, I'm like, listen, man, I told you the other day, there's some things that are worse than a man being obsessed with his wife. So just deal with it.
Right. Let me be obsessed.
Just let me be obsessed with you, girl. 'Cause when I see you moving them hips, girl.
Julie is gonna kill you.
You remember? You seen
talk
Friday?
about my hips on the internet.
You ever see you seen Friday, right?
Yes.
Remember when I think it was next Friday when he was talking to Craig Ice Cube about he's like, man, I can't wait. John Witherspoon, God rest his soul. I mean, I can't wait for your wife for you to move out of the house. And when I see your mother walk around with her big old hips, boom, boom, and my Johnson going like this, he's like, yo, I want to hear this shit. He's like, the Johnson is swinging. Okay, all right.
Yeah, stop talking about this before Julie comes downstairs.
Yeah, for real. She has muscular ears, yo. She knows when we talk about things we shouldn't be. All right, we're gonna get through this. 9th is faith or shared values. This is a family recipe, okay? This is what grounds the marriage when it gets chaotic. Now, that may change with time.
Yep.
But what grounds you when those times are chaotic is what you're connected to beyond yourselves. What is greater than you, right? Now, Julie and I both believe in God. Our relationship with God, or the way that we explored that, has changed throughout some time. And this is why, I'm glad that we're on this actually as a topic, because I see this in a lot of religious or legalistic homes where
legalistic. Thank you for saying that. Because,
legalistic, not there's nothing wrong with religion, but legalism is exactly what Jesus preached against. This is exactly what Paul did not want the members of the church to be experiencing in their personal lives, because legalism is not about intimacy or connection with God more than it is about control and rules of doctrine.
Yes.
And oftentimes when people get married in the church, if they grow up in the church, they choose to stay in the church, especially if it's like really, I wouldn't say cult-like, but if it's legalistic and rigid, and marriage is an absolute, like, there are people who cannot have sex unless they get married. No, that's what you believe. There's nothing wrong with that. Not me. But, because I'm like, I had to, you know what I'm saying? I got to know what's going on. We don't know we're compatible. But there are people who just get married because it's what God told them to do. It's what their mom and their parents expect them to do and all that stuff. And the relationship is all of these things that we're talking about. Intimacy, trust, communication, respect, growth, all of that is just out the window. It was never there, never established to begin with. And the relationships are suffering.
Yeah.
They don't even like each other because none of this stuff is an alignment.
But it was an obligation.
But it was an obligatory thing to do. How many Caribbean parents are just married and they only stay together because, well, they just can't get, societally, they cannot get divorced or separated.
They'll make the family look bad.
And make the family look bad. Sometimes I wonder if my mom stayed legally married to my dad. Because she's like, oh, he didn't want to sign the divorce papers. I'm like,
did you even give him divorce papers?
She did.
Oh, she did?
He didn't want to sign them.
No.
And
he'd probably be the first person in his family to get divorced.
In my dad's family?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, then I don't know why he didn't sign
No,
them.
like everybody's divorced on this side. Anybody that got married, except with the exception of one brother, either divorced from their wives or their wives passed away.
Yeah.
So, I mean, divorce is not uncommon, but a lot of folks think that, if you read the Bible, I think the Bible says that you can only get divorced if your partner was unfaithful, broke the marriage vow of sanctity, or if the person is a non-believer. And those are like, I don't know, you can share your interpretation. I'm like, that's it? Because it's like, life is not that black and white.
Well, I feel like there's a loophole for everything. So
I'm like, or if the person left or was just not or violated the sanctity of the marriage. You could do that in a number of ways, bro.
That's what I'm saying. That's the loophole.
If you out here calling me a bitch every single time we have an argument or a disagreement, then that you violated me, man.
And that's why I'm like, do people just rush and get married, Vlad? Because where was this bitch assedry during when we were dating?
Bitch
assedry.
All right, that's gonna be part of the show notes. Bitch assedry.
Yeah.
Not bitch assness. She said
assedry.
Bitch assedry. Wow.
When we were dating, because if, to your point, if you were calling me that every day, were you not calling me that every day when we were dating? And you know what I'm saying? So where was this?
I mean, if they weren't calling it to you, they were definitely thinking
They were
it.
thinking it. Exactly. Yeah. That's why it's like you need a date for a while before you get married.
Yeah.
You have to know the person very, very much before you decide to tie your life.
Yes. And you take a vow before God and your whole family if you get married in church. But also, listen, let's just keep it a stack here. This is Roots and Rhythm. Don't just get married because God told you to.
Or because you feel like it's the next step.
Yeah. Like, look, let's take religion and faith out of what actually makes relationships bind and work long term. Like, bro, like, don't just get married because and stay married legally because it's not holy. It's unholy for you to separate. Life is life. The only thing we know for certain is that we live once. That's the only thing we know with absolute certainty. We know that we're born. We know that death is on our doorstep at some point. Are you going to live your entire life thinking that you just have to grit and bear it? I know this happens because I was raised, my mom is like the most Catholic person you know. A lot of Christians believe that suffering is a necessary part of a marriage. And it's like, it's not, though. Who told you that?
No.
And I would have probably believed that, too, if my mom hadn't left my dad. My mom is the most religious person I know. And she still left.
Yeah. Well, the other thing that I don't like that people say is that, like, oh, marriage is hard. And I agree with that, but not really. Like, yes, marriage is hard because you have to decide every day to stay together if you have this tumultuous life of things happening. But it shouldn't be hard every day, whereas I'm really like, damn, I got to be with this person again. Or, dang, these situations are happening and I have to stay. I don't think marriage is hard at all. And I think it's not hard because we are friends, because we communicate, because we put in an effort, because we date each other, because we're doing these things. So that's why I don't agree with like, oh, marriage is hard. It shouldn't be hard. Life's already hard. Your marriage should not be hard as well.
Yeah, you know what? I'm glad you said that because I've never really understood that. I was out with my cousins the other day, and this was for some wild math, okay? My oldest cousin, he and I are like 17 years apart. And our uncle, who's older than all of us, has been married for a lesser amount of time. So basically, he and his wife, because they got married young, they've been married longer than my uncle and his wife.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy to think about. And their kids, my cousin's kids, are older than our first cousin.
Oh, yeah. I mean, welcome to having an old-ass dad.
Like, damn. When I said, I'm like, damn, you like literally the veteran in the family, but you've been married longer than me.
I have first cousins in their 60s. Cause my dad's the baby of 6 and he's 87. So all his siblings were older than 87. So that means they had kids.
Damn, that's a lot of math.
You know?
Yo.
Yeah, so that's old ass daddy club. You were born in honor an uncle.
Yeah.
Part of life.
Like, yeah, he said, so we were asking him, like, damn, man, because my cousin, his brother was like, yeah, man, I tip my hat off to you because you've been married the longest. Like, shout out to you and Vlad for showing us how to do it right. Now, this is my cousin who's like, he and my oldest cousin are only like a year apart. Yeah. And so I'm like, yo, damn, that feels kind of good because I'm like old enough to be your child. But one of them said, yeah, like I know marriage, it's not easy. I'm like, well, I suppose there are challenges that come up in life. Life, like you said, life is hard.
Life is hard. It's
but
not the marriage.
When you're married to the right person for the right reasons, it's actually not that hard. It feels good. Like I said, what did we say at the beginning of this program? I can't believe we've been together for 13 years. You can't believe you've been married for 14 years because, well, this is the right person for you.
Yes, it just feels nice.
It will feel hard. Anything will feel hard and arduous and challenging. Like and I never really felt like outside of, obviously at the 3-year mark where we kind of like broke together and we had to rebuild our trust and all that. I've never felt after that like, oh, this is just so hard. Like last year was so hard, man. But we got to. Nah.
No, your home should be your place of peace, not the place that you're like trying to run from every day.
Ooh,
You know, to the point where like when you're not home, you're like, oh, thank God, a break.
Or like if you're not home, you're like, freedom.
Freedom. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. When you're home, you should be happy that you're there. And when you're
Yeah.
gone, obviously you're like having a responsibility or an obligation, but you should still like, oh, I'm ready to get home, or I'm excited to go back home.
Yeah, it should never, your home should never be a place of dread.
Right.
Right,
And
your
I
source
think
of
that's
dread.
what makes marriage hard, when you have that environment.
Mhm.
You know, so I'm grateful that we have made it this far. I'm grateful that
Mhm.
we don't have that kind of home.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out Wallace.
Shout out Wall. Shout out Julie. Shout out to all the spouses that make it effortless.
Yes.
Now, final ingredient to a long, successful marriage is effort.
Ah.
It's not hard, y'all. Look,
No,
effort.
make an effort. Care.
Some of y'all
just
got.
care.
Let's just keep it a stack. Some of y'all got married because somebody told you that it was just going to be easy street and everything was going to go peaches and rainbows, and your honeymoon period would last forever.
Yeah.
Honeymoon, I think, is just you're getting to know each other. It's fun. It's new. Novelty is fun.
The
right?
novelty part of it, yeah.
Yeah, and to some people, like I said, that brother that was at that event was like, I can't imagine being together for somebody with that for so long. I feel like I'd get bored. I'm like, nah, you grow. And if you love somebody, you're gonna be interested with them all the time. Now, if you feel like you just need novelty every so often in a partner, then you might have some digging to do.
Yeah.
But yo, it takes effort. Nothing good is ever instant. It's daily choices. It's checking in. It's choosing love on a boring Tuesday, right? It's just being in love with the person that you're with and making the effort to love them. And what can happen to a lot of people, especially those of us who've been through trauma, is you just feel like because you don't have the storybook wedding, you don't have, and I'm going to say this shit again. I'm going to say this shit again. I'm going to say this shit again. Get the fuck off of social media. Get away from people, especially be wary and question everything. Question when you see somebody's social media all the time and it's glitz and glam and trips and all that shit. Life is just not like that. There are going to be some seasons. You guys are going on a Disney cruise. We were supposed to be on that cruise with you. And some things happened. The government shut down. Funds. We just didn't have the money to go. That doesn't mean we'll never go. But imagine if our marriage fell apart because of that.
Right. Because of Disney. Be for real.
Like, we don't need something external to make our relationship worthwhile. It takes effort. Like, we are not here. You are not with Wallace. We are not enjoying this soft life with our partners because we got married. It's because we chose every day to remain.
Every day we decide, to do all these things. I agree with that, Vlad. And that's such a good analogy about the Disney cruise. Because, I feel like if that would have happened to anyone else that doesn't have all these ingredients already, it would have fell apart, you know? But you guys don't need Disney to have a Disney good time here at home. Because you know what? I just love being home with Wallace.
Word. Like, yo. I told Jules, I'm like, damn.
Just a chill Saturday laying around on the couch.
Just chilling. And if, that is, you know how they say this don't smell, if something smells like bullshit and it doesn't pass the sniff test. The sniff test is if you were locked up, and that's why COVID was so consequential.
Oh, yes.
Because so many people during
and the snowstorm that just
word. There's so many people that have never been forced. They had the kids and they had the vacations and they stay busy, but they've never been forced to just remain together. That's why they don't have date nights. That's why they don't go on vacations together. That's why they don't ever let their kids stay with anybody else because nobody can be with their kids except for them. They subconsciously put those barriers in the relationship because they know they can't stand each other. And that doesn't pass the sniff test. Like, yo, if COVID could happen tomorrow and you'd be like, oh my God, this would be so bad, then bro, it's either not the right relationship or you're not putting enough effort in. Anything worthwhile takes effort.
Takes effort takes effort, takes time. So it's not going to happen overnight, right? You don't learn to communicate overnight. You have to repeatedly keep doing it till you perfect the recipe. So for those of you who think, I know who it is, I gotta get married right now, that might be different for folks who are older listening to this program. But yo, dude, if you meet a homie or homegirl at the age that we met our spouses, our early 20s, and you thinking that, okay, 2 years, it should just be good. A year should just be good. I should just know what I'm doing. Dude, it takes time. Yeah.
It takes time. So here's for closing. If you're listening to this, we went through the 7 or the 10 ingredients, okay?
That's a lot of
Let's
ingredients.
let's recap the ingredients. We're talking about trust, communication, commitment, friendship, respect, forgiveness, letting go of things that don't need to be there, growth, intimacy, faith, and effort, right? These are the ingredients that make marriage fun, worthwhile, and sustainable. If your marriage was a dish that required all these things, what are you missing? What is your relationship missing right now? What ingredient did no one warn you that you need this much of? Maybe some of y'all got married because you think you just have endless guilt-free sex.
Yeah.
And you thought that's all you need, and you didn't think you need communication. You didn't think you need to have trust, right? What are you missing? Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, please share.
Yeah, because we need to know.
Share.
We need to know that. And that is my final thought. It's more of a question of reflection. Do you have all these ingredients, and are you missing? Do you need just a pinch more of communication? Because some people just think they're just ready to give up on a relationship because they don't have enough intimacy, or somebody's just not putting enough. You're not buying me enough gifts. But
or whatever your thing is. Right?
Or whatever your thing is. But if you've got respect, if the person respects you, you've got communication, you got the trust. Do you really need a Gucci bag every birthday?
Right.
If you've got everything else, because we talk about it all the time. Yo, the dating pool ain't shit right now.
Yeah.
And it probably will remain not to be shit as long as social media reigns supreme. Because you got everybody showing you the highlights.
Yeah, and the economy the way it is now, can you afford a Gucci bag every birthday? Like, let's think about it. And we're going to have a blog soon. About some inexpensive date night ideas. So you can keep dating your spouse, keep dating your partner. To keep it spicy.
Keep it spicy and keep it worthwhile, yo. Like, for real. All I got to say about this is I am so grateful that we have a commitment. Not having that. I'm just so grateful that Jules and I have the relationship we have. I thank God every day that we have what we have. And it's because it really is comprised of all these things. And I'm glad that we have friends like you and Wallace that are committed to the same thing. And y'all got each other. Y'all got all these ingredients too. That's what binds us as friends. And if we're missing some, we help each other. Iron sharpens iron.
When we get together, I feel like we talk about all these things and kind of like give each other like tips or suggestions, like, oh, we're going through this, try this type thing. And that's just kind of how we keep the village together too.
Yeah.
Like, again, we don't want anyone to like go through problems that we can try to fix.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like,
and a lot of it is fixable.
Yeah.
And I think that's where folks really, it's too bad. You see marriages end and you think that, oh, was it because of this, that? And it's just like you just needed to pinch more effort. You just got to try some more.
Or more communication. Just talk about things.
So, listen, you're listening to this. It's Valentine's Day weekend. Have a good time. If you haven't done it, be a little reckless, yo. Don't be too reckless. Don't be wild and reckless. Don't be out here having good loving if you know you can't afford a third child and you don't have no birth control. Okay, or like a
November baby.
Don't be having no, oops.
No November Thanksgiving babies.
Yeah,
there's a lot of y'all.
Like, listen, Hennessy's probably created more accidental families than not. Okay, so have a good time. Jules and I will be staying at the Encore.
Oh, nice.
Because the day before we're going to be there for a conference, the Mental Health While Black conference. It is put on by Dee Dee's Cry. Shout out to Dee Dee's Cry and Toy Burton.
That's beautiful.
It's going to be a great time.
Well, I don't know what we're doing, but I know our church is doing like a parents kid free night or whatever. Yeah. So we're going to put the kids there and they'll have a good time with the young adults. They're trying to raise money. So here you go, guys. Here's my children while we go do something.
Talking about inexpensive date ideas. Like, bro, stay in and cook a meal together.
Yes.
Cook a meal together. And while you're cooking your meal on Valentine's Day, if that's what you choose to do on this weekend, then while you're doing that, let's maybe review this episode. Maybe listen to this episode.
Nice.
And see where you need a dash of something while you putting a dash of something in your meal, because it is never too late. Sometimes it is too late. Like if you oversalt, it's too late. If your rice is too salty, you can't fix that.
Mm-hmm.
You can try to. I've tried. If you put too much water in your rice and it comes out mushy, it's dead. You can't do that. I've had to throw out a whole plate. I've tried doing the whole thing where you put the rice, the mushy rice, on a baking sheet and you broil it for
you try to save it. I know
you try to save it.
Things, and I know this is like off tangent. Sorry guys, but I know if something's too salty, they say you can add like a potato and it takes like the salt away.
The starch absorbs.
Yeah,
it.
like there's some tricks. I've never tried it because again, #perfect rice. But yeah, there's tricks out there.
There are tricks out there, and when it comes to marriage and relationships, they're not as black and white as cooking, right?
Yeah.
It's never too late to show some effort or to learn how to respect your partner, and sometimes it is.
Yeah.
If you didn't think these ingredients were important when you got together, right, then you shown a little effort after 20 years of no effort, no respect, no communication.
It's not balanced.
It's not balanced. It may be too late, and that's okay.
And that's okay.
It's okay. And I say this to my folks. I say it to my legalist folks. I say it to my hyper-religious folks. I say it to my atheist folks. I say it to anybody. I don't really care what you believe in or where you go. Get married for the right reasons, yo. Get married for the right reasons, man. And sometimes it is okay to admit defeat if it means that you will be triumphant later. And enjoy your meal. It's your boy, Vlad the Boy, your #1 embrace coach.
And Angie, la cyber mommy.
Are out of here. Stay rooted.